educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work podcast, where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
I thank you very much for tuning in today. I have a very interesting individual who says he was built and wired differently. He is the father of 4, including twins. He has mastered the art of remaining unflappable in the face of adversity. His career, which began on the technical front lines as a firewall development engineer and has evolved remarkably to a vice president of architecture at the Harjavec Group. I don't know why I always flouted that name. I apologize for that. But this journey has provided him with a panoramic view of cybersecurity, showcasing his ability to navigate and lead across all domains. Beyond his corporate achievements, his passion for the field extends to founding 2 podcasts, one technical security architecture and the other business-focused cyber inspiration, and moderating panels and interviews for the industry. He uniquely blends his personal passions with his professional life by co-founding a cybersecurity-focused ski and snowboard conference, creatively merging lifestyle with industry engagement. I thank you very much for tuning in today. And he has a new book out, so we will make sure that will be shared. So I thank y'all very much for listening, and I'll present to you Evgeniy. Evgeniy, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Very, very happy to be here today, and thank you for the introduction as well.
Sure.
You guys have a very, very good show, so thank you.
Sure, no problem. So in the green room, I talk about how, just to give y'all, the listeners, a little background, hey, how we connect as podcasters and getting guests. We connect on Podmatch. There's a software called Podmatch. And I normally start off by a question off of your profile. But also, I take the time to do my research on all of my guests. So my particular guest, he talks about how he has learned how to deal with stress. And when he learned how to deal with stress was a very interesting way by using paintball. And using paintball was a very interesting story because of he had to deal with, you know what, Evgeniy, why don't you tell the story about that? Because someone's don't know how to do
There's a couple of stories, okay? So we'll share one. So one about the book quickly, and we'll get back to the book because there is a stress chapter in the book as well. And actually, the chapter called Burnout, How to Be Present. And the book is not technical. The book about soft skills. But talking about paintball, probably around 10 years ago, we did kind of an event to make sure the team is working well together when I was still working in the Harjavec Group. And for everybody that's listening that's familiar with Shark Tank, so Robert Harjavec is the Harjavec. I worked for Robert Harjavec for 16 years. So this event was done in Texas, in the woods, a couple of ex-rangers. And these people basically realized that whatever they learn in ranger school and in ranger day by day is very applicable in business life. So what they did, they created a school when you go 3 days and you kind of doing paintball fighting. But the idea here is you have a goal, you have kind of an objective, what you need to be doing. And if you're going left and right from the goal that you get shot more, we're not talking about like punishment shot, but you're kind of fighting with the other rangers. So they're trying to keep you in line and teach you school, but basically physical example. But what happens if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing? And an example could be you're supposed to go as a team.
Right.
So if Evgeniy decides that F the teams, because my French, and I'm going to go first and finish the line, then Evgeniy will be shot more. But if you're helping your team, if you're doing it as a team, then it's a different. You have different roles in the team. If you're a medic, you can kind of revive people. If you're a navigator, you're navigating people. The entire idea is not to do what they want you to do, is to do what the goal was set to you. And the goal is set by the team. Because in the end of the day, you win as a team. You not very often win as a one individual. Because everybody is also wired differently and have different skills. Some people can multitask more. Some people can do longer goals much longer or longer tasks much longer and
Mm-hmm.
better and are much more focused. There's people are different. And what was interesting in the end of these 3 days, we realized that each of us has a unique way and unique skills. And we realize who is the better captain,
Mm-hmm.
who is the better medic, who is the better navigator, who is the better shooter, because we all did everything. And
Mm-hmm.
also in this training, they were teaching us about the ideas that you need to talk to your team. So they're going to be
Mm.
parts of you need to, in a way, create an assignment, but in 11 hour, they will take you as a manager and remove you from the management position and put a
Mm-hmm.
second in command.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't explain everything to your second in command, they will not know what to do.
Hmm.
So stress came there because you need to create a lot of decisions under
Mm-hmm.
stress.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened during stress? Most of the time, like look on the planes, why we have the bags when it tells breathing the bags,
Mm-hmm.
because we start breathing quicker, because we start our heart rate is going
Mm-hmm.
higher. For the people that listening and have any familiarity with free diving or ever
Mm-hmm.
saw what's happening with free diving, people that free dive, what do? They have to hold their breath for
Mm-hmm.
1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and more. Actually, to pass the exam, you have to do at least 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
How it's achieved, of course, training, but also by slowing the heart rate.
Mm-hmm.
The slower your heart rate, the less oxygen you're going to be consuming, the longer you can be without an air.
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm bringing this here? Because when we learn to slow down our breathing, it's kind of we have to calm
Hmm.
down as well. Because the people that do free diving, they have to calm down. Yogis, they are very, very calm. They're very, very relaxed. So one of the main part to navigate stress
Mm-hmm.
is fun to understand, oh, I'm under stress right now. I'm panicking. I am in distress. I am don't know what to do. So of course we need to understand it's happening to us because we don't know it's happening to us. We're not able to do it. So, one of the issues to resolve the problems is to understand you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Second one, like, oh, okay, I'm in this situation. I have a presentation to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have an important customer delivery. Customer is unhappy with me. People quitting my job, like whatever is happening, you understand you're in a stress.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, what you can do now, you can learn to slow down your breathing. You say, Evgeny, but this is easier said than done, but not really,
Mm-hmm.
because there's techniques. One of them actually coming from a Navy SEAL called
Mm-hmm.
box breathing. And box breathing, are you by any chance familiar with box breathing or no?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, but the entire idea is that we have four pillars. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you whoever is listening or we watching can see it, and we
Mm-hmm.
inhale for X amount of seconds, let's say 4 seconds or like 5 seconds. Then we hold for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and repeat. So basically, our cycle right now, it's if it's a 4 second or for a pillar, it's 16 seconds. If
Mm-hmm.
it's a 5 seconds, it's 20 seconds. Guess what just happened? Instead of having 12 to 14 breaths a minute, we now have three, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever do this and you have a device to monitor your heart rate, I guarantee after 2, 3 minutes of such breathing, your heart rate will drop
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you will automatically will just kind of be more focused and be more relaxed. And you can do this while you're driving or walking. Don't close your eyes, please, what you do while you're driving. But if you're at home, then you can close your eyes. You can kind of be more into it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is one technique. Other technique is it's actually yogi breathing. It's called 1 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
So you inhale for 4, and you exhale for 8, or you inhale for 5 and you exhale for 10. So
Mm-hmm.
you double the exhale. It also bring you basically the entire system and calm you down. It's actually funny enough in the book because when I was writing the book about soft skills, I realized one of the important parts is to be present.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much stress right now. We have so much work happening right now. We are
Mm-hmm.
8, 10 hours a day on calls, on Zooms, Google Meets, and
Mm-hmm.
Teams.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have time to decompress. 5-6 years ago, we used to travel as entrepreneurs from place to place, and at least we had time to be with ourselves. We had time to drive from place to
Right.
place, to
Right.
decompress. Right now, there is no time. So I actually describe some of these techniques in the book to help people to navigate stress and fear as well. So think about that. We teach MBAs, we teach people how to make money, how to calculate finance, how to create tables, and how to sell. But we don't really teach people, what if you're scared? What if you need to deliver this presentation and you're literally scared? What if you need to go on a podcast and it's going to be 5,000 people and you like, I'm Evgeny. So like you pretty much forgot how to speak.
Right. Right. Right.
And if you listen to many, many episodes, many people start with mumbling and start with a lot of filler words, and then they get into the swing, they calm down, and suddenly their language change, their facial expression change. They understand nobody gonna bite them, nobody gonna throw tomatoes on them. It's all good, it's all human. So this is in the book, but there's also physiological access you can do. Like if you're angry, or if you're upset, and you go to play basketball, you go for a run, or go to play soccer, you usually come down pretty happy. Or you go to the gym because you basically release you release the bad energy, you can say.
Right.
There's actually several exercises you can do as well, and it's usually a repeating exercise. When you do like swing, for example, swing with your arms around your body, that's kind of very boring, but it also teaching your mind to slow down, calm down, and get to like almost like a meditation by doing stuff. So it's active meditation, if you can say this. Dancing, you can say this dancing is active
Right.
meditation. in a way.
Right. Right. And I want to back up for a moment. One of the things that you had talked about was the goals of the team. And a lot of time as entrepreneurs, especially when we're solopreneurs or we're just starting out, whatever it is, we've take on that responsibility to grow the organization one way or another. And sometimes we don't understand how to let it go, which is another part of that stress, right? So how would you suggest for someone to be able to let things go as they start to grow and they are bringing in new employees or contracting things out, being able to trust the individuals that you're bringing in, because sometimes we don't know how to trust either. So how do we deal with those type of stressors of one, letting go, and trusting individuals that, hey, you know what, they have our best interests at heart?
This is a very interesting topic. When I did quite a lot of sales, and again, on the technical side, I was what call it technical pre-sales person, supporting a salesperson. But I spoke with many, very many large enterprises, banks, manufacturing, insurance companies. We always had this idea: don't tell the customer your baby is ugly. Now, explain what I'm talking about. When you a founder and you responsible to sell your baby, what I mean, you're the guy or the gal that know really well how to sell your product. You know the technology, you may be very technical, may depend on what kind of co-founder you are, if you're a technical co-founder or not technical founder, but you know what's happening. And in one point, as you mentioned, you're growing and you need to bring other people and handle them, your baby, and let them trust them they're gonna sell your baby. Trust them they're gonna do the same job as you do. From what I see, the best things to do here is what we call like baby steps or building blocks. So you let them join the calls, and it's definitely going to be depend how mature is this person. By maturity, I mean not like brain maturity, but I mean like how well they know the trade. Are they a junior salesperson or they're a senior salesperson? The senior you are, you're going to pick up much quicker. So you let them join calls with you. You explain how you present and what's your methodology. And this is important when you're hiring people because you need to create some kind of culture in your company, and you want the people you're hiring going to be aligned with this culture. Because if you forgot them to explain them the culture, then why would you think they're going to follow the same culture you have? Because they're going to be upset and you're going to add more stress. So you explain the culture. I hope you created it before. Then you let them join calls. You explain your methodology. to how you act and how you work with customers and how the company work with customers. Then you basically ask them to do, let's do a trial. Try to sell to me, try to present to somebody else in the company until you get to the point when this particular person is going to be joining the call. They will do the majority of the work. You're going to be fly on the wall, what we call just listen. And in case there's two things, you can help during the call that it's questionable, or you do a review after the call. Almost like an army. When you finish a flight, you have a review to understand what was good, what was bad. And so you're coaching them slowly and then progressing slowly until to the point they are running the stuff by themselves, and you're only intervening when the deal is very, very big or the customer is very, very important. And they're always going to be, doesn't matter how big is the company, they're always going to be a customer when the founder need to step in and help because the deal going to be so big or so important.
You know, as we're growing, because you're talking about making sure that people are part of the culture, they understand the culture. And a lot of times we lose who we are as we're growing because we're in competition, right? We're hearing, we're going to some seminar, workshop, 3-day festival, whatever it might be, because we're hearing what other people are doing. And we want to emulate them. We want to duplicate what they're doing because they're growing faster. They're growing bigger. They are, whatever. And or just like yourself, you're a part of this organization, Harjavec, his organization, and now because his organization is big, like you said, he's Shark Tank and everything else, and now I want to get into my space and, can I duplicate this? And, again, all that stress, right? So we lose who we are in that culture. So and building that culture. So how do we build it and maintain it as we continue to grow? Because sometimes we'll lose it.
I think it's totally fine to not just lose it, to kind of transform. Because if the company is 5 people, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, you have to transform from who you are. You have to let go. And in some cases, you're more not just a manager, you're not a team lead, you're a leader. You're basically the person that set the stage and kind of shine the light where the company is going and help where it's needed. There was a very good book, I forgot the name right now, but Intel CEO, when he basically changed himself, who he is for several times and adapted to where the company is because the company is growing. Right now, since I have a bit of problem, Intel, but it's a different story. But it's okay to change in my mind. Okay, I graduated from Harjavec Group. I have my own company right now for the last 2 years. I have my own consulting. It's a small company. It's not big. So not a big changes for me on my side, how I manage people I'm working with. But there is definitely changes how you deal with people and what's important for you. So I think it's totally fine to change. It's fine, and I think important to change slowly. Don't just wake up tomorrow morning and say, today we're going to do just that. And it's not going to work for 20 days. You're going to flip back or do something else. There's a lot of books about habits and how long it takes to adopt a habit. And some people say it takes 15 days. There's a different theory that says it may take about a year or half a year. So it's better to do small incremental changes and see if they stick versus doing a big change, like the entire idea of my new year resolution, I'm going to be stop doing XYZ. And 2 months after, like, what it was?
Right.
So better to change small stuff. And I'm doing this for myself as well. Like, I'm adapting small changes because I'm realizing it's important for me. This could be on what I'm eating, how I'm sleeping, what I'm exercising, how I deal with people.
Right.
What's actually, like, if you're talking about soft skills, is what are the soft skills? How do I change them? How do I adapt them? People always ask about what are the most important soft skills and how you train them, for example. So in my mind, I think curiosity is one of the most important ones because it's the one that actually drive you to experiment stuff. We can talk about empathy, we can talk about active listening, we can talk about asking questions. But if you don't have the curiosity to try everything, then how would you know you need to even change something in yourself?
Hmm. And I think that's wow, we can go a lot of different ways with curiosity. And I'm saying that because the first thing that comes out of my mind or comes to mind is staying, especially when you start off as an entrepreneur, staying in a childlike mentality, staying youthful, staying excited, staying like you're staying curious. Um, Understand like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna wake up on Christmas morning, type thing, just trying to make sure that, hey, I stay excited about what I'm doing, what I'm presenting, and how I plan on getting to my next goal. So when I hear curiosity, that's what I take from that particular word, so I appreciate that.
So I'm gonna try to, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I'll try to make it even more interesting. So there's this entire idea that we are sales. Doesn't matter what we sell. Who is doing the dishes, who taking the garbage out, who is going with the kids somewhere. We all always selling something very, very small, at house, with friends, at work. But there's also this idea that, the younger generation don't have soft skills. They don't understand these nuances. And what I realize, it's not exactly correct because as a kids, we were the best sales. We were the best in soft skills.
Right.
We knew how to get what we want. If this is the candy, watch more TV, play more with grandpa, or whatever it is, we knew how to get it. This could be by being very nice and catty, or this would be by crying and doing other stuff. But we were very, very aligned, and it was all from the heart. Like this is what we wanted, this is what we did it. It's not because we were mean, just because this is something we want to do. But with time, we realized, certain action, people may look on us different. No, you're not gonna be 12 years old, staying in a hole and screaming, I want the candy, because you realize it's probably not gonna work. And people will say, like, hey, what's wrong with you?
Right.
So when we're growing, we realize not all the techniques are working, or maybe we start to be ashamed of some of the stuff, and we don't really want to get out of our comfort zone. If you made a mistake, you don't really want to go and say, sorry, I made a mistake, and comfort about this. And this is the stage where we start losing this idea of soft skills and pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone to do the stuff we are potentially uncomfortable. I may be curious, but I'm going to be afraid to go ask. Or maybe curious, but nobody else asking, so I'm not going to ask as well. Nobody else trying, so I'm not going to try as well.
I appreciate, man, you coming on the show today. Great information. I really hope that people, you really dive into your state of curiosity. I think that's a very great, thought or idea, because as you're stating, as we continue to grow, mature, become adults, sometimes we lose that skill. We're losing it. Through everything that's going on in the world right now, we're not curious, especially since everyone wants to show everything anyway.
Yes.
But I thank you very much for coming on the show. Please share how people can reach out to you, talk to you, and maybe you can help them find their build up their soft skills.
So one of the easiest things to find me is on LinkedIn, who is my name, Evgeniy Kharam, EVGENIY KHARAM, I'm like Mary. Thanks God there's not too many Evgenys, so it's easy to find. And the other one, everything about the book is softskillstech.com or .ca. And I think you're going to link it in the show notes as well. Everything about the book's there. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much. But before I let you go, I got to ask you my world famous question. I ask everybody, all my guests, right? My would you rather question. So, would you rather choose 3 doors or a fork in the road?
3 doors.
And why 3 doors?
I believe in the magic number of 3. There's something magical about 3, so there's more choices, more options.
Okay. So now, would your answer change if I said to you, there are no parameters, there's no magic answer? Would it change?
No, probably 3.
It's still 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I appreciate it. It's funny because the last quite a few people I've asked this question, everyone has been choosing a fork in the road. Now there have been people that did say, hey, I want the doors, but they imagine the doors being red with white walls, or, the doors were glass or plexiglass so they could see through them, those type of things, so.
Unfortunately, no, we don't know what's always going to happen.
Right. We don't. You're right. So no, but I appreciate you answering the question for me.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me on the show.
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank y'all very much for listening to That Will Never Work podcast. And as usual, Evgeny's information will be in the show notes. So please, please, please support him and purchase this book. I need to get it for myself because I need to talk to some people about this. Thank you very much for listening to the show, and I will talk to you a little later.
Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Find us on social media at Chisholm Group LLC and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work, or will it?